Morning. Appreciate everybody being here. Just want to begin by congratulating our guys on this ability to bounce back after a tough loss the week before to a top 10 team and being able to get refocused and go into a tough environment and play a good solid football game against a good team that played really hard and was physical, and just really encouraged by just our guys' ability to stay the course and make enough plays on defense. But offensively, just really 35 first downs. It was just a great way to control the game, stayed on the field. Michael Penn continues to play better each week. Offensive line blocked better, gave him time, ran the footballs. Stephen Carr did a great job. Peyton Hendershot had over 100 yards receiving. First time since 1985 we've had a tight end do that. And just the ability to do a great job as a football team. We emphasize special teams so much here, and Charles Campbell kicking 4 field goals, going 4 for 4. What a weapon he is, and just his consistency has to continue. But really proud of him and the way he stays locked in, and still feel like we kick too many field goals. We want to be able to get in there and finish those red zone drives, and we were 6 for 6 in the red zone, but we want to get more touchdowns than field goals. But to me, those are things we just continue to work on and work through as a football team. I want to recognize our guys throughout the week. As we know, it's really a huge part of our preparation is just the way the guys buy in to practicing hard, and our scouts do a tremendous job each week. And defensively, Defensive Scout Team Player of the Week was Nick Greaser. Offensive Scout Team Player of the Week, Jaquez Smith and Andy Buttrell. And then the Special Team Scout was Trent Howland. And those 4 guys continue to work hard, and a whole bunch of guys do as well, which is awesome. And then as a team, offensively, Peyton Hendershot and Stephen Carr were the offensive players of the game. Defensively, Micah McFadden, Tywan Mullen. Thought Tywan played his best game of the season, played the way I expect him to, and just was all over the place and knocking down balls, and don't think he gave a completion up all day. And then Micah just was excellent, flying around, leading our team. I thought his leadership on the sideline was at the highest level I've ever seen it from him. He's a pretty quiet guy, but just feel like that's something he's really growing in, and it showed. Obviously had to do a lot of things, make a lot of adjustments, and their offense creates a lot of issues. And then Charles Campbell as the special teams player of the game. So proud of our guys. Got a tremendous opportunity this week. Obviously got in late Saturday night, but getting the guys mentally and physically refreshed and ready to go. Had a really good day with them yesterday. A very important week of preparation. A great challenge against Penn State in a very, very difficult environment at night. Excited for it, though. I know, obviously, a really good football team, top 5 team in the country right now. And Coach Franklin does a tremendous job in both recruiting and player development and the way their teams perform. So tremendous challenge and opportunity for this football team this week. So excited to be able to get back together tomorrow and get ready, preparing for the Nittany Lions. Questions?
Yeah, Coach, I know you've alluded to the Maryland game before as kind of a turning point for the program, but last year against Penn State, what did that win, you think, kind of do just in terms of the perception of the program and knocking off kind of one of the powers in the division?
Yeah, there's no question that it was a big win. I think that's been, stated quite, many times since when you beat a team of that, caliber in regards to their tradition and the way they've won and how good they were and being a top 10 team, at that point in the season. And so just, have been close with them before and just being able to find ways to finish. We all know how that game played itself out and to be able to come back there at the end of that final drive and then win in overtime. It just gives a tremendous, surge of confidence to your guys. I just think that, the ability to experience that, whole situation as we've gone through and talked about many times and, being, backs against the wall, playing well at spurts throughout the game and then seeing it slip away at the end, but then just finding a way. and the final drive that those guys, the execution that took place and by a lot of different individuals, and then being able to find a way to finish. So I just think those are parts of building your program, and I think you mentioned we had some road wins along the way. They're critical. Road games are hard, and the environment to play in is tough, and so now the next step is to get one of those big road wins. That where you do beat a top 10 team or a ranked team, on the road, and so it's just building your program step by step, day by day, and it's building belief and it's building expectation, and then when you experience it, it elevates those things, and you just keep growing and building.
You talked about Mike, I think, last week, saying you looked especially at his interceptions. You felt like you were seeing kind of different kinds of interceptions and things like that. I mean, was there any part of the process where you or Coach Sheridan just sort of sat down with him and almost asked sort of what's in your mind when you're seeing this? What are you sort of what were you trying to do here? What were you thinking to do here? And how can we sort of meet what you tried to do with, obviously what we're trying to do?
Yeah, there's no question that was part of the process, and that's what was helped me kind of come to the conclusion that I came to, and I sit in on Sundays with the quarterbacks during their meetings, and you go through and watch the games together and the plays, and you talk through, and you ask those questions. Hey, what are you seeing here? Why did you make this decision? And that to me helps me. And then you go have one-on-one conversations and with coaches and players. But I think that's part of the whole evaluation process. Even a lot of different positions, even linebackers when they're hey, what did you guys see here? Why do you guys have to make different communications? Sometimes you use different verbal communication, sometimes hand signals, and that way you can confirm that both sides understood that. But sometimes you got to ask them, hey, what did you see here? And that helps you figure out do we need to do something different to help get a better outcome, or hey, this is exactly what we need to do, this is why, and so therefore keep doing it. So I think that's all part of communication with each other and figuring out, and that helps you as a coach make good decisions moving forward, because you always got to know why, and that's why I felt like that, what I saw and watched and observed and talked and figured out as a staff, I felt good going into last week, knowing that I thought there was progress. And then I feel like, coming out of this game this week, against West Kentucky, there was progress with Michael and his play and decision making and the different things and the different throws but still got to keep getting better, continue to improve and I expect that to happen. So, but yeah, that's to me is just all part of each and every week, every position. But the quarterback position is very, very critical, obviously, because it just involves so many different things that determine the outcome of the game.
Coaches, if I missed it, I apologize. But is there an update on DJ Matthews? And if he's not going to be available, how does that change the offense? I saw a lot more tight end use that was very valuable over the weekend. Going forward, how does that look?
Yeah, DJ Matthews has torn his ACL, and so he will be out for the season. And it's a tough blow for us and for him, and hurt for him. He's had an amazing attitude, even the night it happened, and we weren't 100% sure at that time, but it was confirmed yesterday. But in regards to our offense, other guys got to step up, and we got other, as you mentioned, the tight ends and the different ways we use our guys and different receivers that got to step up and make plays and Reese Taylor in the return game for punts and that will be back into his plate fully and so tough break, but we've got to be able to fill the void and press on.
Tom, I know after the game Saturday night you had mentioned that you had talked with Michael and Ty both about sort of blocking out those expectations that were around this program in the preseason. But, with that first national ranking in 52 years and winning the Big Ten signs in your facility and such, now that we're a month in, do your expectations at all change as to what this team is capable of now that you've seen them play for 4 weeks?
I don't believe so. We've talked about as a team that everything that we feel like that we want to accomplish and this team has set down to want to do is in front of us. And we now begin an 8-game Big Ten slate. And as you see, as you look across this conference, there's every single week it's going to be a dogfight, and the margin for error is very small for everybody. And it's a team that can execute the best each and every week, and find ways to protect the football, play great on special teams, and do a good job of winning that game. Then you just take them one at a time. And so I think there's no different focus from the beginning. There's no question that. I think we've had to work through handling all those different expectations and what does that feel like in the season. It's one thing in the off season, it's different during the season, and I think guys have continued to work through all that. And to me, it's the goals have been set, the vision has been set, and our guys are chasing after being our very, very best. And we talked about chasing greatness, and that's our one word for 2021. It was picked for a reason. And but I think that the process has helped teach our guys, man, just focus on just being your best. Every time you practice, every time you take the field, and try to learn to just live in that moment and be in that moment. And like I said, I think that's those things have been emphasized in different ways, and even added to those emphasis have been different ways of presenting it. But at the end of the day, you got to learn how to play with those in front of you, but be able to really block it out, and so to speak. And that's easy to say, hard to do. So I think that this team has. A tremendous amount of character, and a lot of players that believe in themselves and believe in each other. And it's about coming together and putting all your energy into this 1 week. And you just block each week off, and you focus on that, and that's all you do. And everything's about being our best at 7:30 on Saturday night at Penn State, and that's the whole focus. And so, and when you get in that moment, it's every single snap, and it's every single series, and it's every single quarter, and it's every single half, and then you focus to finish the game. So that's where this team is, and I know our guys are very excited about continuing to focus on getting better as a football team.
David Ellis went out early, looked like he was banged up, and related to that, who are the young guys that you think could step up with DJ being lost for the season?
Yeah, I just look at the whole receiver core, and I think, Jacoby Hewitt's a guy who I see, just continuing to grow and be more involved, and expecting to, want him to. I think bottom line is when you say younger guys, Malachi Bennett, Holt Bennett is a young man that's shown really good flashes throughout fall camp as a true freshman, as well as Jordan Williams. Those guys are probably going to be the two that we'll look to be able to give us some more depth at that position. We obviously got a lot of guys that are older that'll be still very, very involved. But to ask about the younger guys, those two ones that come to my mind, and I expect them to be able to have some practice opportunities for sure, and then we'll kind of see how they respond to that. So, but still got a lot of talent in that room, and excited about, it's like anything else, and like I said, it's tough for DJ, and we've had this happen with other players in the past, and even this year and last year and the year before, but it does create opportunity for somebody else, and that's part of life, and you have to be able to, when called upon, rise up and seize the day. Okay, David Ellis is. I hope so. He's. I would say it doesn't appear to be serious, but it's kind of a lingering thing that we're trying to get. So we're trying to get some answers on that to see if we can get and figure out why it keeps rehappening in him, because he's a tremendously talented young man that I have really high expectations for and hopes for, and I know he does for himself as well. So I really need him to be able to get healthy, stay healthy, and help this football team.
I was also going to ask about DJ. Is he eligible for a medical? I would think it's sort of right on the borderline there. And I guess
yeah, he actually, because of he never redshirted before, so we fully expect him to be able to have an additional year. Yes.
Just real quick, just to go back on sort of the next man up. Is Jacoby the slot guy? Who is sort of the definitive next man up?
Well, if you notice in the game, different guys have played it. Miles Marshall's played the slot. Tyken played the slot. So it'll be different guys as we kind of figure that part out. But yeah, Jacoby's the guy that can play inside and outside. We have most of our receivers are pretty versatile. They have the ability. We don't have, and even I know Coach Hurd has kind of built it this way and recruited guys that have that ability to be flexible. And so and that's why I think you'll see a lot of guys guys in both inside and outside roles as well. So, but I think those younger guys for sure we're anxious to see those guys rise up, and it's a pretty, it's a deep room of guys, so we just got to see how it all kind of flushes out.
You've played in 2 road games now. What's really changed as far as expectations and preparations with those road games, especially one at Happy Valley in comparison to 2020 when there just wasn't a fan environment?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is we've played on the road. Obviously, Iowa was a very hostile environment, and then you had the chance to play a night game, here this weekend, down there, and it was a great environment that they had, and I knew they would. And it was loud, and it'll be louder, this weekend. But I think those things prepare you for sure. And once again, experiencing that as a team is very, very important. Definitely a lot different feel than a year ago, without question. And so, but that experience, and we have a lot of older players. We've got some younger players too that had a chance to experience both of those, and you learn from that. And I think that's does nothing but help us. But yeah, this is one of the toughest places to play in the country, and but that's also exciting as well. So I've coached in a lot of these types of venues, and it's why you do what you do.
Coach, I know Western Kentucky's offense is a different animal than you'll see in the Big Ten, but what do you need to do? What do you need to see from the defense to get them back to playing to the standard that you've seen, as opposed to what happened in Western Kentucky in the second half of the Cincinnati game?
Yeah, I would say more the execution piece to me is really critical, and it's going to be the focus of this whole week, and to be able to handle the different things that they do from a tempo perspective, and different looks and different things that they should, and then some maybe things that they do that you haven't seen. They had a bye week before we played, and just do some little different wrinkles and do some things differently to be able to adjust better on the sideline. And that to me is what I want to see. It's the communication piece, it's execution piece, continuing to not, cut a guy loose or not play with proper technique and leverage. The one touchdown, it was, second 19, and we bid on the double move. I mean, that's football 101. You just don't do that. You give up the 5-yard hitch or a 5-yard out and play the deeper ball. And that to me is something that you just, can't. Even the last drive, it was 4th and 7 and we're playing too far off. You give up it would have still been, even if we would have made the tackle when he caught it, so it would have been a first down, So those key executions, at those times, I just think that we got to do a better job, and I just know that those experiences continue to allow us to grow and develop, and we as a staff have to do a great job of cleaning those things up, because I was not pleased at all with the way we performed in the second half, Saturday night. Feel like we're better than that, but we got to prove it on the game day.
Obviously, football, contact sport, injuries happen, but it seems like at least there's been a lot of injuries so far this season, small ones, some as well as some larger injuries like DJ Matthews, Chris Keys. As you guys, is there anything you guys maybe you're going to change or questions at all that you guys kind of want to work on now with all the injuries that have happened so far this season?
Well, you look at those 2 knee injuries. They're both when they planted. They're non-contact. ACL injuries. If anybody ever figures out how to prevent those, I think they'll be a very popular person, in sports, So, but there's no doubt. You go back and look at it and evaluate what you do from top to bottom. But we've had several of those. We've had some foot issues. Those are also difficult ones that kind of like, what are you doing? I don't know. We don't really train our feet. We don't have exercises for our feet and the bones in your feet, the ligaments in your feet. So probably some unique things to figure out a plan to prevent, but it doesn't keep you from evaluating every possible thing you're doing to train your guys, prepare your guys to be able to, But I saw ACLs this whole weekend in the NFL level and our level, and so it's just an unfortunate part of this game that we play, and it is a contact sport. But yeah, that was everybody saw that one. It was just his foot got stuck in the turf, and when he dropped the punt, and it is what it is, So, and kind of similar with Chris. But yeah, you go back and we do an injury report analysis from a strength and conditioning perspective, as well as our medical staff perspective, the things that we're doing to get our guys rehabbed, and so we just gotta, figure it out.
Sorry, kind of circling back to maybe not just Mike, but the passing game in general. What are the processes maybe of kind of the conversations too with pass catchers and maybe opening the floor a little bit to say, is there anything either from play calling or from, timing with Mike, whatever it might be, that we need to be doing better for you guys in terms of maybe, delivering the ball in certain areas or getting you in different route combinations, kind of things like that? I mean, was that part of the process, I guess, after those first 3 weeks of maybe evaluating the passing game too?
Yeah, it was, and I think that like anything else, every season's a new season, every group's a new group. You go through and like you said, I think especially with Michael coming off an injury, everything had to be modified, even over the summer. He threw and did all that stuff with those guys, but did not take as many reps in the spring, and so it's just, you just work through that. You get into fall camp and I think, offense is such a timing, spacing side of the football. There's so much emphasis on that, so much time spent on that, and you got to go do it, and you can't do it over the summertime with coaches there with the ball. And so, and we're one of the, we follow those rules. That's the way the rules are, and that's what we do, and they can do it on their own, so, but the coaches aren't there. So, but I think you get in there and you continue to work, because once again, that's all good and that stuff works, but then you got to do it against, live competition. Once again, it doesn't happen, during the fall. So I just think you continue to work through that, and there's no doubt, having the injury and have that time away, hurts that, because then you're spending the whole off season getting yourself physically back, and you don't get all those other reps, So, but I do feel like that, Coach Sheridan, Coach Hurd, in our passing game, and then Coach Wright with the tight ends, and just trying to work so hard to get our guys, and even now it's about ball placement, be able to allow, the run after catches to increase, and that affects where the ball is placed based on where the defender is, and allowing you, like just prime example, there was a catch by A.J. Barner where you want to be able to, create a first down opportunity instead of 4th and 2, because it looked like if you freeze the frame when he first caught the ball that he would get the first down, and just the way where the ball is thrown, where he turns as a receiver or tight end to be able to turn and get the first down. So just little stuff like that, because those are big, because those are, 4th and 2s, we end up converting on that, which was a big conversion, but you got to get those. You get and start back into Big Ten play now, and those little things to me make a big difference, and that's part of this process, and that's why I just feel like that it was great for our offense to do what we were able to do. Still got to keep working, not where we want to be yet, but the progress, I think, is there, and it needs to be just built upon.
The concussion protocol with Jalen Williams, where is he in that process and availability for Saturday? And then also takeaways. Jalen had a chance early in the game for one. You guys have 5 and 4 games. How would you evaluate where you are at this standpoint, and what kind of progress do you want to see there?
Yeah, so Jalen's is progressing well through that process, and that's totally, our medical staff handles that, but I know it was very good initial prognosis from him, which is positive. We'll see how that plays out the rest of the week. Just disappointed in the lack of takeaways. Has not been enough for our standard. Our goal is 3 per game and didn't get any. Jalen did have a chance, as you said. Didn't see us really raking at the ball and punching at the ball like I want us to as well. I know the ball was coming out fast. I mean, it was like 2 point whatever. It was just a very, very quick release to get to him, and the balls were thrown a lot of times. There wasn't a lot of there was some broken up balls for sure. So, but just gotta create them. We emphasize it ruthlessly here in this program, and that will not change. But we're going to continue to really emphasize, creating them. And we have circuits we do for that every single week. That will not change on both sides of the ball. But we didn't turn the ball over on offense, which was huge, and I know it was a big deal, big emphasis as well. That will always be a huge emphasis for us. And so, but yeah, we just not getting enough of those, but we got to, once again, they do come in spurts, and we're going to keep persevering with that. That's a huge part of what I believe in. Takeaways, tackling, and effort. So 3 of our DNAs on defense, and the first one is takeaways.
Yeah, Coach. I know you said you were more of a morning practice team. I think this is going to be your 3rd night game in 5 weeks. Just curious, how much of an adjustment that is for you guys.
It actually is, and so we oftentimes it's the noon games that everybody has to kind of get figured out and don't welcome as much, whereas we're the opposite, But I will say this: so our players love playing. They love playing at night. It's just kind of if you're even as a player, I know I felt the same way, and a coach. I mean, I love even this last Saturday night. I mean, I love playing at night, and our guys are jacked. So, but the schedule is what you have to get squared away. So the good news for us is we've now done it twice. We've actually tweaked it a little bit from this past week. We're going to tweak it a little bit more just to kind of get things the way we want them, because obviously this is another road game, and you figure out how you want to handle all the time you have. But and that's the negative part is just the wait. It's just kind of makes for a long Saturday, waiting to go play. But I feel good about the flow we're creating and our guys and the rhythm we're getting into with it. And this will be our third one, as you guys have noted. And there's been years where we haven't played this many in one season. So, but that's kind of how it's worked out. And it's going to be a awesome environment and a great opportunity. So yeah, that's. Once again, we're adjusting, and I think our guys are getting pretty comfortable with it. Awesome. Have a great day. Elio.